Hi, everyone. I'm here today to give a quick update on coronavirus, kind of talk about what's going on in the community, some challenges that you may be facing, and how to get us through the next few months into fall and into winter with the pandemic. So I'd like to first start out by sharing my screen, hopefully bringing up how you can start to think about what's going on in your community or learn about what's going on in your community. So the first thing that I would say that's important for you to do is to look at what is going on in your community. And for me, the way that I have really been tracking what's going on in the community is to utilize a website that the state of Idaho has put together. This is easy to kind of move through. It's called coronavirus.idaho.gov. And there's some really great different parts to this, but the main portion of it that I recommend looking at is what is called the data dashboard. This has great information that can tell you not only what's going on in the state of Idaho, but what's going on in your county. The parts that I think are most helpful is to look at the part that shows the cases by county. So whether you're in Ada County or Canyon County, whichever one you live in, this is a great way to see what the number of cases are by day. And the other part that is really helpful is to look at what is called the daily 7-day moving average incidence rate. And this is a really great way to see how we've changed over time. Are cases going up or are cases going down, which can help you make some really good decisions for both you, your family, and the community. So as we think about that, I know that many of us are facing some new challenges as we move into fall. So I want to address those and let you know that we have some modules set up that will help you figure out how best to deal with some of these challenges. Many of you have kids that are back in school, at least part-time. We know that the seasons are changing, which means the weather gets colder, means we spend more time indoors, which can increase the risk of contracting viruses. The holidays are coming up, which maybe you've started to think about how you do that with dealing with family and kind of extended family. And then also just the fatigue or feeling of overwhelmness from the pandemic. So I want to just kind of reiterate some of the best practices that we want to think about during this time. Some of the best practices that I recommend rethinking and making sure that you and your family are doing are to think about continued vigilance. So I know many of us are fatigued, many of us are overwhelmed, but continuing to do those things that we know are important. And that would include things like physical distancing, remembering that if you're with people that are not who you live with, that we maintain a physical distance of at least 6 feet. The second is to wear a mask when we're around people that we don't live with. Outdoors if we're within 6 feet, and indoors we should be wearing them all the time if we're not with people that we live with. And again, that good hygiene of hand washing, right? Making sure that we're doing good hand washing. The last one that I will add to this as we move into flu season is to get the flu vaccine. This not only protects you by making you less vulnerable to another infection by getting the flu, but also protects those around you who are vulnerable to the flu. The last thing that I would say, and kind of a reminder to all of us, it's a reminder I give myself daily, is that idea of assume that you are an asymptomatic carrier, and to make sure that you're doing all those things that not only protect those in your family or in your community, but the state as a whole. Please do go through these modules to make sure that you have kind of the best and newest information and ways to protect yourself and your community. Thanks.